And right now, we are also awaiting the Nodaway County prosecutor to speak on the Maryville rape case. You see him standing by here. He's getting ready to talk. This is Prosecutor Robert Bryce. He goes by Bob Bryce. This case has gotten a lot of attention over this past week.
Yeah, that's right. We've been covering it very closely along with major national media outlets. This is the first time we've heard from local authorities speaking out about it. Here we go. We want to bring this to you live. Listen in.
2013, I watched a program on CNN. On that program, the host interviewed 4 state witnesses that were part of a sexual assault case in Nodaway County in 2012. Part of that interview, the witnesses declared their willingness to cooperate and testify in court on that case. Until that time, the witnesses never told me that they were willing to cooperate and testify after they invoked their Fifth Amendment right in a deposition under oath. In recent days, the Kansas City Star published an article that called into question the integrity of the criminal justice process in this case. The public trust in our criminal justice system must be upheld at all times. Therefore, based on the witnesses' willingness to testify in court and to uphold the public trust in our criminal justice process, I have asked the court to appoint a special prosecuting attorney to conduct an independent review of the facts and determine whether to refile charges. Questions?
Sir, did you ever receive the rape kit before you decided to dismiss the charges in the first place?
Yes.
When did the victims in this
Well,
case
I'm sorry.
decline to come?
I need to follow that up real quick. They say, the mother say, there was never a rape kit that was received.
Okay, you're listening to Prosecutor Bob Bryce there, the Nodaway County prosecuting attorney, saying he is going to appoint a special prosecutor to look at this case. This case has gotten so much national attention. We've also heard the last couple of days from the sheriff, who has been on TV as well. Sheriff Darren Wright has been on some of the national channels talking about this, saying they've all said all along that the family has not cooperated with this, even though the family said they are willing to cooperate when we spoke to them on Monday night here.
Right, I was going to say that we did speak with them here, and we heard directly from them. So after that story broke in the Kansas City Star, that's when sort of the national media storm started, and that's when everyone started to say, no, that's not in fact what happened at all. This is the first time we've heard from local authorities, and like you just mentioned, he said that they have decided to appoint a special prosecutor. I think he's starting to take questions from reporters right now. Let's listen in again.
Under oath that was recorded by a court reporter with people present, attorney, so that we could record under oath that they were in fact invoking their Fifth Amendment right to not testify, knowing that by failing to testify, it would force me to have to dismiss the case against the accused.
The victims say that's just not the case.
I've got a deposition, I just can't show it to you because it's a closed record. I could show you the page and the line number, but unfortunately it is closed record and I cannot show that to you, and I apologize.
Fifth Amendment for the sexual assault or only for the endangerment charge, misdemeanor?
I cannot speak for the... I'm sorry, ask your question again.
Mrs. Coleman said that the Fifth Amendment question came up in regard to the misdemeanor charge, not the felony charge, which she says were dismissed March 13th. Can you clarify when the felony charges were dismissed, if at all? And the Fifth Amendment discussion we're having, was it in regard to the felony charges or the misdemeanor charge?
I can't give you dates, the record's closed, but what I will tell you is that in the deposition, the dates, the case, when I asked them, are you invoking the Fifth Amendment, you understand that the entire case will have to be dismissed. They said they understood, that they were giving the statement voluntarily, that no one was threatening them or forcing them to plead the Fifth when they otherwise wouldn't.
Mrs. Coleman says she never took the Fifth Amendment. Are you calling her dishonest?
She took the Fifth Amendment.
Do you think she misunderstood, if that is the case?
No.
Why would they have any reason to do what you say happened?
I can't go into their minds. I don't know, ma'am. I can just tell you this. We were very careful, very deliberate to make sure that we recorded that there was no misunderstanding, that they understood by when they, at that time, invoked their Fifth Amendment right, that by doing so was going to force the dismissal of the case. They understood that.
Do you have proof that they invoked their Fifth Amendment right?
Yes, ma'am.
When was the deposition taken?
I can't give you a date, sir. The record's closed.
So you're this order prosecutor.
It kind of brought this all to light again. This came out several days before the CNN interview. Why is it that just now, after this interview, you decided to ask the court to assign a prosecutor?
I didn't hear your question. I'm sorry.
This information that came out in the interview, it wasn't anything new. It had been there in the Kansas City Star article. Why wait until now?
Because last night the witnesses went on a program on CNN and announced that they were willing to testify and participate in the prosecution of the case. Until that time, they never told me that they had changed their mind from the moment that they invoked their Fifth Amendment right.
So what's the outline from here now with asking the court to do that? What can we expect?
The court will make a decision and appoint a special prosecutor who will then conduct the prosecutor's own review of the case and determine whether to refile charges.
How long will all of that take?
Can't tell you.
All right, and coming back out here to the desk, we kind of want to wrap up what he has been saying. Like we talked about earlier, this is the first time that we've heard from the prosecuting attorney saying that the reason they decided to come out today and say something was because the Coleman family was on CNN last night and said that this was the first time, like you just heard them say, that they said that they want to talk about the case. That whole controversy goes back to why it was dropped in the first place that we've been reporting, and that they claim that the Coleman family pleaded the Fifth. So we'll continue to follow what happens in this as this story continues to develop right here in our area and across the country. I think we're all watching very closely.
We've got a crew. We'll continue to listen to the questions here. If anything new comes out, we'll have the latest on that coming up at 6 o'clock, and of course always on KSHB.com.